What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another manga review, and today I'm going to be talking about Attack on Titan. And yeah, I'm really late to the game on this, and truth be told, I'm actually fairly new at reading manga. Like, I've been reading Berserk for a long time now, but I've always been an anime fan. And more so when I read comics, I read American comics, and I read manga. I've read Rurouni Kenshin and whatnot, like back when I was a teenager in Hellsing. There were manga that I read, but I'm kind of getting an influx now that pretty much because I've caught up with Berserk, that I need new manga to read, right? And so I've been asking around, what are the best ones to read? Which one should I get to? And a lot of people have recommended Attack on Titan to me. And I am no stranger to the awareness of Attack on Titan. I know how popular it is. I know how huge it is. I know many people love it. It kind of flew far and away in the polls that I had of what manga to read and whatnot. I also know there's a lot of criticism to it, because anytime you have something that a lot of people like, you're also going to have stuff that people don't like it for particular reasons. And it seems like a lot of the times we can't be in the middle on things. But I will let you know right now, I'm in the middle on this. But I have an awareness of what Attack on Titan was before I read this. I actually watched, I think, the first 3 or 4 episodes of the anime when it first came out. Not that I was disinterested in it, I just think I just watched the first couple episodes and then kind of just got distracted with other things and never got around to watching more of it. So I definitely knew the gist of the story. I knew the idea of, obviously, the Titans, these gigantic, monstrous things, which is kind of the main appeal as far as my interest is concerned, because I am a giant kaiju fan. If you can't tell, I have Godzilla everywhere. Godzilla's my shit. Just a grown man with action figures sitting on a shelf, because I love that stuff. And not just Godzilla, I love all that. I love Gamera, Rodan, all the kaiju stuff I love. Pacific Rim, which actually Attack on Titan reminds me a lot of, or maybe it's the other way around. I don't know if one was influenced by the other, but I've always been a fan of kaiju, just these giant, unstoppable killer monsters that just pale, human beings just pale in comparison to these things. They're gods, they're mythic, they're legends, and that's kind of what I wanted Attack on Titan to be. I wanted these things to be mythological, I wanted them to be godlike, I wanted them to be these just giant, indestructible things. But of course, dealing with the shonen genre, you're going to have fighting, you're going to have action. It can't just be people running away from Titans constantly. So we're going to have a battle system introduced, and that was a little confusing at first, but we'll get into it. Basically, I'm not going to just summarize the entire book for you. A lot of people that do reviews do that, and nothing against that, but I'm coming into this review with the assumption that you've obviously already read Volume 1 of Attack on Titan, so it's just going to be spoilers galore, talking about specific things that I want to cover as far as the story goes. Drop my notes. The first thing I want to talk about, and I have positives and negatives with this. Overall, it is positive, and I do plan on continuing the series. But one thing I want to talk about is the main character of Eren. As of right now, and this is only Volume 1, and I understand that, and I understand things get fleshed out and become better as time goes on, so I'm not criticizing the series as a whole because of this. I'm just talking about my personal opinions of Volume 1, not knowing anything that comes after it. Eren, right now, I am not too on board with him. I feel sympathy for him because of the things that happen. He lost his mom. He saw her basically eaten right in front of him. There's something going on with his father that injected him with some shit. I don't know what that's all about. I have some ideas. I'll get to that at the end of the review. But Eren, to me, just seems like the very typical shonen protagonist. He's the kid that has the dream and wants to go out and get stronger, and I don't really feel too much of him beyond that. I really don't have a sense of him as a character right now. All I have a sense of is he hates the Titans, and he wants to fight them, which he wanted to do even as a child in the beginning of the volume. So after seeing his mom killed, it's not like that propelled him to want to join, what is it called, the Survey Corps, to go out and fight the Titans, because he already wanted to do that beforehand. So it's just kind of like an extra push of tragedy, and it was tragic, and it was very heartbreaking to see. I mean, nobody wants to see somebody's mom get eaten by a monster in front of their child, but Eren himself, I feel like that didn't shake his motivation. I feel like it was the same before as it was afterwards, and maybe if the mother being killed was more of a catalyst to push him into being a Survey Corps, maybe that would have worked a little bit better for me. As of right now, I feel like he's very one-note, one-dimensional. Again, I'm only talking about the first volume. I'm not talking about the whole series. Please don't chew me out for that. You can if you want to. It's cool. But as far as the first volume is concerned, he seems just very straightforward because everything he talks about, unless I'm mistaken, which I could be, I feel like everything he says, all of his lines of dialogue are talking specifically about the plot, like talking about Titans and the plot and what he wants to do and how much he hates them. But I really didn't get a sense of him having like an actual like normal conversation throughout this book. And I know like you're living in a world of Titans, what's a normal conversation? I just mean something casual, something other than him just explaining, this is what I want to do. You know, this is what I want to accomplish. Like instead of him just kind of being a character and we can see that kind of flow, we can just see it by his actions and his words and his demeanor, we can understand what he wants to do. Instead, he just constantly describes what he wants to do, basically like giving you exposition, 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 but I didn't really get a sense of who he was as a person beyond that. All I know is that he hates the Titans, and obviously he loved his parents. That's pretty much it. Again, I'm only talking about the first volume here, but as of right now, I'm not connected to Eren really in any way other than just like having sympathy for the tragedy that happened. But again, it's only the first volume, and also obviously, another manga that starts out with a very simple-minded protagonist is Hunter x Hunter, and I love Hunter x Hunter, so I'm not going to knock the whole series for that. I'm just saying as of right now. So also there was Mikasa, who I was a little confused. I thought she was Eren's sister, but I guess she's like his adopted sister because they have different last names when it goes through and names it, and she doesn't seem to have the same kind of reaction. She doesn't like call out for mother and whatnot when Eren's mom is killed. So I'm assuming she's like adopted in some way. She acts like a sister figure, and Mikasa seems pretty cool. Again, I don't really know too much about her yet, other than she's just really calm and strong and confident and cares about Eren. But she also joined the Survey Corps, so hopefully we'll get to see a lot more character development from her. And I'm pretty sure she goes on to be a major character too, so I'm pretty excited about that. The world building here, because we have to go into this world that's overrun with these giant monsters, and basically like the military strategy system. Everyone lives in a one area, basically. Well, there might be more human civilizations throughout the world. I'm not really sure, but from where we're focused in this volume, there is basically like a huge wall and another huge wall and another huge wall, and people kind of live within the society. There's a king. We don't see him, but it's kind of like ruled with like a king system, and it's been this way for 100 years now. And nobody seems to know where the Titans came from or what basically their purpose is. Basically, they just go around eating people, and nobody seems to know why or where they came from. And for my theories, like I'm hoping it does have something to do with them being godlike or some kind of like mythological creature. But they also don't really know like the extent of their intelligence. It seems like the Titans kind of know what they're doing, but they kind of are also like wandering around like zombie, like ravenous things. So there's a question of like what the full intelligence of the Titans are, which I like that aspect. And I like the idea that there could be Titans that are more intelligent than other ones. For instance, we get the Colossal Titan, who is just over 50 meters tall, which, by the way, that's how tall Godzilla was in the original Godzilla film. I don't know if there's any symbolism there, but there you go. The Colossal Titan is the most interesting to me because he seems the most intelligent, and also he can disappear. So where is he disappearing and reappearing to? Is he like teleporting himself to different areas of the world? Or is he kind of like the god of the Titans? Because the other Titans are smaller. You know, they're like a couple stories tall. This guy's 50 meters. So maybe he kind of like leads to where Titan invasions need to come. Like maybe he kind of shows up as like a prophet, you know. Maybe there's a whole kind of culture and religion to the Titans themselves. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know anything beyond Volume 1. So that could be pretty cool, pretty interesting. And I really do like the Colossal Titan. Obviously, he's on the cover here. He's, you know, every time you see Attack on Titan, you see that image. And it's great. And so there's like a military setup to fight these Titans. So there's the garrison, which I guess they stay by the walls, reinforce the walls, defend the walls themselves. The Survey Corps that Eren wants to join that actually travel outside the walls. to face the Titans 1-on-1 or multiple 10-on-1, whatever, and seem to always never make it back alive. And then there's the Military Police Brigade, which basically serves as like the police force inside the walls, and they work close to the king and carry out his ruling and whatnot. So I like that kind of division. I like the world building. I like the fact that there's different groups of these military systems, and then of course they have the equipment that they use, which I was a little confused on how it works. Basically, it's like a belt with like a gas motor in it that has like repelling wire that can repel you up walls, and then like the gas shoots out and like can kind of propel you forward and whatnot. It's kind of like the drawings in the manga are good, but it was kind of hard to follow exactly what was going on with using this battle system, and I was a little confused in some parts. This might just be a me thing. This isn't necessarily a manga thing. This is just like my own brain trying to understand the direction of what all the characters are moving. So I hope that system gets a little more fleshed out and gets a little more, I don't want to say coherently drawn, because it probably is coherently drawn. I just have trouble following it. But we'll see what happens with that. So going into a few more things, sorry, I'm just reading my notes because I don't want to miss anything. There are a couple other characters that I wanted to make mention of. One is Mr. Haynes, or Hannes, I don't know how to pronounce his name. He was the guy who was obviously working as a garrison in the beginning, and they were kind of getting drunk because they figured, like, nothing's happened for 100 years, what do we got to do? And then the Titan actually shows up. So he went to go try to rescue Aaron's mom right before she was eaten, but the one look into the Titan's face filled him with fear. And I like this because I feel like this should be the way that most people react. These Titans should fill you with fear. They should be these larger than life, literally larger, but they should be these mythological, powerful, like enchanting beings. I don't mean enchanting as in magic. I just mean like the awe of seeing something that large or that powerful, just like makes you feel like a little ant. And I like that. I like the fact that even though you're trained, you don't know what is going to happen until you're actually put out into the field, and that's true with anything. And so him having that reaction instead of just like going into badass mode, I really, really appreciated. Also, Aaron's childhood friend Armin, who also joined the corps and was forced into battle towards the latter half of this book, where the Titans attack again. So there's a little bit of a time skip. They attack when Aaron's a child, and there's a 5-year time skip so that he can be a little bit older and wiser, whatnot. And then the Titans attack again, and his friend Armin goes out with a couple of people to fight them, and they all just get massacred. They get eaten, and then Armin is about to get eaten too. And I honestly thought he was. I thought he was eaten. And then what happens is, first actually, there's a specific panel I wanted to talk about. This is what I'm talking about right here. So this image of like that arm of the Colossal Titan just swinging across the gate, that's what I'm talking about when they need to feel epic and mythological. Just like imagine this just gigantic arm just swooping in and just makes you feel like so freaking tiny. But again, Aaron just kind of goes like right into battle without seeming to have much fear, and I didn't really like that. I kind of wish he was a little more timid at first, since he's never actually faced something like this. But that's neither here nor there. Back to his friend who's about to get eaten. And here too, I like this. I really like how this ends. How Aaron goes in, basically jumps into the Titan's mouth, takes Armin out, and then the Titan's mouth closes and basically just chops off Aaron's arm, which was awesome. I did not expect that. It was great. Turning that page, I was just like, holy shit, that really, really worked for me. And but here's my hope and here's my fear. I know Aaron's not going to die, obviously. But my hope is that that arm is gone for good. I hope that there are consequences to facing these Titans, and I hope that when damage is done, and it can't just be, reverted or regenerated, because here is my fear. And I don't know if this is true. I have not gone ahead. I don't know anything, all right? But here's my fear, is that, so Aaron's father had injected him with something, and it kind of like, Aaron's memory is kind of foggy about that. He had some kind of syringe, and he injected him with something. And I hope that that's not something to do with giving Eren some kind of superpowers. And what I mean by that is it is said that the Titans can regenerate unless they're attacked by one certain spot in the back of the neck, basically separating the vertebrae, I think. So if Eren's father is some kind of scientist and maybe was able to take that regenerative ability from the Titans and inject it into Eren, and now he can regenerate his arm. This may or may not happen. This probably won't happen, but this is my hope that it doesn't happen. I hope that that's not the case. I hope that he wasn't injected with some kind of Titan juice, which gives him like superpowers where he is like way stronger than the average human, or can run a lot faster and jump higher and regenerate, because in a series like this, I don't want to see any fantastical powers from the humans. It works in Hunter x Hunter, like I just showed that manga, because that's the kind of world it's set up where you can like channel your chi and energy and create things. That's the whole like mythological concept behind that. But for Attack on Titan, I like more so the concept of humans are humans, we're grounded in reality, and these beings are what's more, I keep saying mythological, but that's the only word I can think to describe it. These beings are what's fantastical about this world, but the humans are human. And I want to keep it that way, and my fear is that humans are going to start getting special powers. I'm probably wrong. Don't spoil it for me either way in the comments. You know, well, I can't stop you from doing that, literally, but try not to. But that's my fear. So overall, I like the concept and I like the setup of Attack on Titan. I like the Titans themselves. I like how powerful they are. I like the fear in mankind. I like the mysteries that are set up. I like, you know, what is actually in the outside world, where the Titans come from. Is there some kind of conspiracy theory where the king or whoever is hiding the history of mankind? Maybe mankind created the Titans and we can't let that information out, you know? Just same thing with like Godzilla, you know, is because of nuclear testing or, you know, fucking with Mother Nature too much and Mother Nature comes back to strike. I don't know. That would be cool. And so I like the setup, I like the conspiracy theory behind it. The things I don't really like are Eren as a character right now, because I just, besides just hating Titans, I don't really like feel like he's too fleshed out. But again, this is only volume 1, and also I need some other more supporting characters to kind of come into the fray for me to like. Armin might turn out to be really cool after that experience. We'll see what that does to him. And Mikoto, or what was her name? Mikasa, sorry. I'm looking forward to see what happens with her. So that's what I like. I do plan on continuing the series, but that's my thoughts of Volume 1, everybody. So thank you for watching this video. Let me know your thoughts down below. Again, try to keep it as spoiler-free as you can, but you can tease me. You know, I like to be teased, ladies. I don't know. But you can let me know particular things down below. Just try not to spoil any of the big moments or anything coming up. I know I'm like way late to the game, and I know that this series is ending fairly soon, so I hear. So that might be good, actually, because it'll be something I'm reading that doesn't go on hiatuses, so I can actually like finish it. So very excited about it. Again, let me know your thoughts down below. Thanks a lot for watching this video, guys. I really do appreciate it. Give it a thumbs up if you would. Share it if you want to. Subscribe if you want to. It's cool if you don't. Just whatever. Just hang out, man. You can hang out here. I talk about anime and manga and shit and movies and life and just everything. I don't know. I'm making this outro way too long. Are you off the video yet? Did you already click away? I don't blame you. Anyways, I'll talk to you next time.